Hey guys, it's Osman. Today I thought I'd make a bit of a video talking about what Anki is, how you can set it up, and also how you can use it to learn Japanese. In the last video I made about how you can sentence mine using Japanese YouTube for Anki and all that, there was a lot of comments talking about how they'd want me to make a video talking about how you can actually set Anki up and use it. So I thought I'd make a bit of a video today on that. So first, for those of you who don't know what Anki is pretty much a software that allows you to create digital palm cards, and it also tells you when you need to review those palm cards. It kind of works under the assumption that the best time to review something that you've learned is right before you've forgotten it. So therefore it calculates when you're expected to forget the knowledge, the palm card that you've made, and then it gets you to review it on the pretty much right before you forget it. And every single time you review that and you get it correct, the that interval from which you've studied it to when you're going to forget it becomes longer. So every time you review it, it's that period gets longer, so you'll have to review it even later. So for instance, say you make the card, you'll review it again the next day, and then if you get it correct on that next day, then 3 days later you review it again, and in those 3 days later, if you get that correct, then say 5 days later, and that interval gets longer and longer and longer. So what this allows for is for you to memorize pretty much a huge amount of information in a short amount of time without needing to review things very often. And so obviously this can be very useful when we apply it for Japanese learning in the form of using these palm cards to learn things like words, kanji, sentences, grammar, whatever. It can be really useful for that. I'll put a link in the description where you can download Anki, and let's just have a look now at how you can set it up and how you can use it.
So when you first download Anki and open it up, this is what it's going to look like. So up here, you've got all your different tabs for different options, and here it'll display all your decks. First I'll go in and talk about the decks, and then we'll just go back and talk about all these different tabs and what they do. So the first thing you want to do once you get Anki is you create a deck. The name of that deck is, say, Japanese. And this is where you're going to start putting all your Anki cards in to learn words and grammar and all things like that. Now go into the options for this deck, and then in here you want to go see this section here where it says new cards per day. You want to switch that to just the max you can. Then go to the reviews, and then maximum reviews per day. You also want to put that the max you just can. And the reason for this is just so that if you don't do this and you add, say, 25 new words or 25 new cards per day, it'll only present those first 20. So you have to go and change it to just the max so that this happens. And now you've got these. That's that'll fix it. And as well with reviews, if you've got, say, over however many reviews, it will cut it off. So just put it as max as possible so you're doing all your reviews when you need to be. And then you can go into lapses here as well. And for me, there's a thing here where it's a leech action. And that's when, so say in a few days in a row, you make a mistake on a card. Well, not even just a few days in a row. Once you've gotten a card wrong multiple times, it'll put into a leech, and then it might suspend it. So for me, I don't like them suspending my cards. So I turn that from suspend card to just tag only, like that. Push OK, and then that'll change that here. And so and then there's this button here, add, and then that's where you start adding all your different cards. I've got another video on how you can actually learn words using YouTube with this for Anki. And yeah, pretty much I'll just explain the real basics of this just in case, some people don't understand. On the front, you put the front of your palm card essentially, so like the question. So if you're learning words, you put a sentence or something. On the back, you put the answer, and that's how you create a card. Just for an example, I'll just write something here in Japanese, put gakusei, and then you can put it down here, student, and just push add to give an example. Close that. Then here on your Japanese deck, it'll come up with a new card, one new card. And so now that it says one new card, you go in, it says study now, and it'll come up like this with gakusei, and then you can just push, you can say, oh, that means student, push that, student, you push good, goes away, well, it goes, you do it again, student, and then disappears. And then that'll come back tomorrow, because it's only got a 1 day interval, and that'll just keep getting bigger and bigger. Okay, so now I'll move on and just start explaining these here. So obviously decks, it's just going to come up with all this. Add is just to add new cards. browse, you can go and start browsing your collection of cards. So you go whole collection, you go here, or if you just your deck, Japanese, you can see your cards there. So once you add multiple, you have an option to go through and look through all of them. Then you also go stats. And here in your stats, you can go through and start looking at all the different statistics you've got for Anki. So all this kind of stuff, future data, how many reviews you're going to be doing in the future, how many cards you've added per day or reviewed, the amount of reviews you've done, this talking here. And so while we're on here, see how it says mature cards? A mature card and a young card, what that means is a young card is one you've just added and studied. And then a mature card is one where instead of the interval being 1 or 2 days, it's gone up and it's become, say, a month. I think it's over 20 something days, it becomes a mature card. And I guess you could kind of look at that as the knowledge contained in that card, moving from, say, just short-term memory to long-term memory. That's how I've looked at it, at least. I don't know if that's actually really true, the actual something but yeah, that's the way I look at it. And that's all these different things here. You can also see how many cards you've added per day, and you've got the option to save it as a PDF as well. And so you've got all these different statistics here if you wanted to get into all of that. But I don't think it's too necessary to worry about all of this. It's more just, using it for basic functions. In Anki, you've also got the option here, if you go up, to go in and use add-ons. However, there are, plenty of add-ons, and I can make a video one day covering some good add-ons, but even if you don't have add-ons, I think Anki still works brilliantly on its own. I don't think you really need to use too many add-ons, considering you're only going to be using Anki just for basic things. You don't want your language learning to revolve too much around Anki and the SRS, because I think it's really easy to become obsessed with doing Anki and just adding too many cards per day and just going crazy with it.
So on that note, I kind of want to expand a bit on what the kind of optimal use for Anki is in learning Japanese, because I think, it comes down to how many words are you going to add every single day, or how many cards are you going to create every single day. And I think if you create too many, then you're going to have so many reviews that's going to cut into your immersion time and your time for doing other things, and it's just going to become this huge hassle to create cards and review cards every day, to the point where it might not even be maintainable for the long term. So for me, in my learning, I found that the best amount that you can create per day, I find, is between 15 to 25. The reason you don't want to do too many is, like I just said, if you do too many, it's going to be difficult to keep up with it. As well, your retention, you're not going to remember the cards as well if you add too many, which is, common sense. But if you do all your reviews, you'll still remember it to a pretty high standard, but it's still not going to be as good as if you're doing a bit less. For instance, once I did 60 cards a day, and that was just too many. I ended up doing, say, 700 reviews per day or something like that, and it was just insane. So I don't recommend that. But then on the other hand, if you're only doing, say, 2 cards per day, I've seen some people do that, every couple of days they'll add 2-3 cards or something. If you do that for adding words, I think the problem with that is, if you consider how many words it's going to take, how much vocabulary it's going to take to be able to, say, read a pretty advanced novel or scientific article or something like that, it's going to be quite a large amount of words you're going to need to know before you can really comprehend something like that. So I think if you're doing 2-3 words per day, it's just going to take too long before you're at a level where you can understand those things. Because say you need to know, 10,000-20,000 words to understand something really, to be able to understand anything you want, any book of any genre, for instance, or anything like that, textbooks, whatever it be. Say it takes 20,000 words. If you're adding 2 words per day, that's going to just take an absolutely ridiculous time to be able to get to the level you need to be to understand those things. So I think, for the reasons I just said, adding, say, 15-ish to 25 is probably the real sweet spot for how many you want to add every single day. Because, you don't want to get caught up too much into it, so you're cutting out of your immersion time. Because at the end of the day, this process of using Anki to remember things isn't what's going to allow you to get to a high level of Japanese or any language. The thing that's going to allow for that is your immersion in the language and your actual direct contact with the language in its, I guess you could say, in its wild state, where you haven't purposely picked it out and created something. It's just where you're, say, listening to something or reading something and interacting with the language in that form. I think that is what actually allows for language acquisition. So that's what you should be putting the majority of your time into, not Anki and learning words and that. So yeah, I think that is the place that the Anki has in the whole scheme of learning a language. I don't think you should get too obsessed with it because it can be detrimental in how much other study you do with it. So yeah, that's about it on this topic. In the near future, I'm probably going to release a video on just how you can make cards for, say, grammar and things like that, and maybe go into some other topics in later videos then on, say, kanji and other things. Or maybe even I've had some experience doing some European languages as well, so I can talk about that in like the differences between, say, doing a Japanese and a European language and how you can approach, like how you should approach those differences with Anki. And so yeah, I think in the future I'm going to put out a few more videos related to Anki, but I just thought I'd make this video to just quickly give a brief overview of everything, how to set it up, and just, yeah, explain everything out like that so that you can use this kind of as your first step to get into learning things using Anki. If you want any more content on things like this, more than what's already on my YouTube channel, I've got a Patreon, so you can check that out. But if not, just subscribe and just wait. I'll be putting out another video in the next couple of days, so just stay tuned for that. Thanks, guys.